Welcome to the Vault Excel. Happy Sunday. Hope you all are well. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Please stay hydrated. This commentary is pertaining to Carlee Russell. Let's talk about the mugshot. Carlee, why are you smiling? And who gets dressed up to go to jail, turn themselves into jail? The one reason why I believe you dressed up in that dress, that turtleneck dress, which makes no sense to me, is because you knew you would be bonding out. Because nobody wears a dress to jail willingly, especially if they didn't think they were going to be getting arrested. I noticed you leaving your lawyer's office the other day, and I thought to myself, what is wrong with this picture? Dressed up, got your hair coiffed because you knew you were coming out. See, there's a difference. Let's talk about that mugshot, this infamous mugshot that will be carried alongside Miss Russell for a very, very long time. As someone said, anytime you Google her name, you will see that infamous mugshot. I'm going to play you two audios pertaining to the why she did it, and then another commentary why attorneys ask their clients not to smile for their mugshots. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. We'd like to donate to this great network. $McAngie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats, and welcome to the live stream. Fox 54, Huntsville is the source. Number one.
Carlee Russell, the 25-year-old nursing student, has been charged with 2 misdemeanors for giving false reports to police. She could face up to 1 year in jail for each one. At the press conference, the chief of police of Hoover, Alabama, was visibly angry. He said he would have thrown more charges at her if the law allowed him to do so.
Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation. As the concern grew, but a kidnapper was on the loose, using a small child as bait.
Russell's attorney says she has admitted the story was entirely false. There was no toddler by the side of the highway. She was never abducted, and she spent the entire 49 hours that she was missing in Hoover, Alabama. The Attorney General says the manhunt caused a strain on law enforcement resources.
We don't see this as a victimless crime. There are significant hours spent, resources expended as a result of this investigation. And not only that, but the many men and women who are civilians that wore those yellow vests on a hot afternoon and evening looking for someone they thought was abducted.
Exactly.
So we know the story has been made up entirely. We know she could face up to 2 years in jail, but still know why she made up the story in the first place. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
All right, everybody. Fox 54, Huntsville is the source. Will we ever find out the truth to what happened during the 49 hours, the motive for this hoax, and will she get jail time? I do believe she deserves jail time. Dues paid back to agencies, fines, community service, and extensive probation, which I believe at least 10 years, because when you're dealing with a diabolical mind such as this, she's capable of anything. So she doesn't need to be walking around free on probation for just 2 or 3 years because her mind isn't right. And the fact that they keep saying her attorney, she's going through something while she works out details of this or work out her situation. Well, what is her situation? What situation does Carlee Russell have that the next person doesn't have? What is it that she's going through that Pookie, Ray Ray, Shamiqua, Karen isn't going through? What is it exactly? She has what type of problems? Mad at the world, didn't complete her coursework, failed the coursework, mad at her parents, mad because she's broke, need money, want a better paying job, mad at the man, want a different man. What's the issue that she has that other civilians don't have? Yes, she caused a panic to people who liked her, cared for her, people who were concerned, people who didn't know her. Just the fact that a woman's missing. And then you find out it's all a hoax. And this is detriment to those who have actually gone missing, been brutally murdered, never found. Some were found. Some were actually able to escape. Some were actually let go. Every case is different. But this case never existed. And as I said to someone in the chat the other night, I do believe she had help because it also said I believe she did a dry run. She wrote that highway down because in order to pull over and you watch the brush from the footage, how would you know where to go into the brush to meet the person waiting on you? I do believe somebody was waiting on her because she's not the type to just roam the earth for 2 days aimlessly in a bathrobe holding toilet paper and Cheez-Its. Stay woke. I always listen to the details now. Because as I tell you, you want to know the truth? The truth is at the beginning of the story. And you want me to believe for 49 hours she was walking around Hoover, Alabama in hot temperatures in a bathrobe, toilet paper, Cheez-Its. Come on now. Don't insult the queen. I always say if you want to understand the story, walk it out, literally, in your mind. That's how you get to the bottom of the story. Walk it out. Imagine yourself on the side of that highway, walking through the brush to go absolutely nowhere or somewhere. In a bathrobe, hot Alabama heat, for 49 hours, with granola bars and Cheez-Its in your hand or your Target bag. Stay woke now. 49 hours in sweltering heat. You want me to believe she was outside for 49 hours? Or are we going to find out she concocted the story with somebody else? Plural. Who might that be? That's my next commentary I want to bring. Who is the helper? No way. She drove those yards down a highway without doing a dry run first because she'd have to know where to exit out of there to get to where she's going. And then we have surveillance cameras everywhere that can film you coming and going. So you want to believe somewhere around that area on the other side of that highway does not have surveillance cameras. I'd like to see what the street looks like and if there are cameras on street lampposts, businesses, houses, or it's just woods. Come on, make it make sense. Because if there's a street, then that means somebody has to have a camera or something. So they didn't go talk to any businesses. Hey, can we see your surveillance cameras? Are there houses? Hey, can we see your surveillance cameras, doorbell cameras? Come on, make it make sense now. She had help. So are we going to ever hear the truth? Please go to my community board. I just posted a poll. Will she tell the truth about where she was? And will she ever tell the motive? And will the helper ever tell on her? Next commentary. Take the poll. 9 votes so far. Does Carlee Russell smile show she has no remorse? 67% says yes. 33% says no. So 67% of you. No remorse. 33% says no. 9 votes. Let's see what Live Now from Fox has to say pertaining to smiling in the mugshots. Thank you for joining me.
Time 1:32 on the East Coast and 10:32 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories from across the country and across the world. And this one has been a big one. Carlee Russell, the Alabama woman accused of faking her own kidnapping, has bonded out of jail following her arrest. Russell turned herself into the jail Friday on charges of false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident. Earlier this month, Hoover police say she called 911 to report a toddler wandering on the interstate and was missing for about 48 hours before returning home. Earlier this week, officers say she admitted through her attorney that there was no kidnapping and there was never a wandering toddler. I want to talk more about the case here. Nima Rahmani, a friend of the show, is a former federal prosecutor and joins us now live. As always, Nima, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me.
So as you've watched this case play out over the last several weeks, are you surprised? What are your thoughts knowing that these two misdemeanor charges have now been filed against Carlee Russell?
Josh, I'm not surprised. I mean, Carlee's story did not make sense, didn't check out. I mean, there were so many inconsistencies, so it was clear that she was lying. So it was just a question of when she was going to get charged, not if. So I'm not surprised that the charges happened as quickly as they did.
And tell me about the severity of these two charges. As we've mentioned, they are considered to be misdemeanors, but it sounds like she could actually serve some jail time.
Josh, I think she probably will do some jail time. Unfortunately, under Alabama law, these types of offenses, they are not felonies. So it's really state specific on the federal side. Making a false statement is indeed a felony. It's actually punishable by up to 5 years in federal prison. But in Alabama, these are just misdemeanors. So the maximum sentence she can get would be 1 year on each count. I don't think she's going to get the max, but I fully expect her to get some jail time.
Was there ever really an option as to whether to file charges, or when you're talking about a high-profile case like this that essentially received national attention, do police essentially have to file charges?
I think so, Josh. And every prosecutor in this country, they're either elected or appointed by someone who is. So if you don't file charges in a case like this, that's how you get booted out of office. I mean, there's so much time and money that was spent searching for Carlee, and it was all a hoax. So I'm not surprised that prosecutors decided to file.
And Carlee Russell did turn herself into the jail yesterday. She quickly bonded out after being charged with those two misdemeanor counts. Is that fairly standard procedure when you're talking about a case like this?
It really is. When you're talking about misdemeanors, bond is appropriate. Here's someone that clearly is not a risk of flight because she faked her own kidnapping, probably not a danger to the community. Those are the two standards that judges look to decide whether bond is appropriate, as well as the severity of the charges. And because they're not very serious, they're misdemeanors, I'm not surprised that she bonded out so quickly.
And what are your thoughts on Carlee not meeting with Hoover police directly when she was asked to come back for a follow-up interview after they had questions about her original story, instead releasing a statement through her attorney that said the kidnapping itself had been faked?
Well, I'm not surprised. Once you have a lawyer, your lawyer is going to advise you not to speak to the police. I mean, that's, throwing good money after bad. She may have doubled down on her lies, may have subjected herself to further criminal liability. So she wanted to cut her losses. She did come out with a statement admitting that it was all a lie, but meeting with police officers would have probably been a bad idea when you have a lawyer.
And I want to get your legal opinion on the Hoover police chief. During the news conference, he said that he's going to talk with lawmakers about eventually allowing this to be a felony rather than a misdemeanor. Is that something that can actually be accomplished? Could it be done? I think you mentioned a short time ago that it's kind of state by state.
It can be done, Josh. It's really up to the Alabama state legislature. They do change the law, send it to the governor's office. It'll become a bill, just like any other law. But it can't be applied retroactively to Carlee Russell. That would be a violation of the Constitution. That would actually be called an ex post facto law. So laws can be applied prospectively going forward, but not retroactively.
And a big question I wanted to ask you is, can anything, at this point, what is left to prove? Because it sounds like she's basically admitted to everything through her attorney. Is there anything left to prove in the case, or is she essentially guilty of these crimes?
She is guilty, Josh, and I fully expect her to plead guilty. The question is, does she plead in connection with some sort of plea agreement, or is she just going to plead open and have the judge decide what the appropriate sentence is? But this is not the type of case that can go to trial. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming that the statements that she made, that 911 call, there was no toddler, there was no man with orange hair. She wasn't abducted. She didn't have to get undressed. And all the things that she told law enforcement were untrue. So this is not the type of case that you can try if you're Carlee Russell or her attorney.
Does it make it tougher for everyone involved in the case, whether you're talking about Carlee Russell, elected officials, the attorneys, when you do have so many eyes across the country that are paying such close attention? Because this case essentially went viral as folks were sharing her photo, they were looking for her, and now you have all the outrage from those people. So is it harder to work a case like this and maybe work out a plea deal when everyone knows about it?
There's no question. There's going to be a lot of pressure on these prosecutors to throw the book at Carlee Russell. I mean, it's not just jail time. I mean, she should have to reimburse as part of criminal restitution the time and money that law enforcement spent working on the case. And from a prosecutor's perspective, Josh, the worst thing you can do is prosecute an innocent person. So these types of false reports not only take time away from law enforcement who could be investigating real crimes and real women. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of women in this country that are missing. They've been kidnapped. They've been sex trafficked. And, when you have law enforcement wasting their time on a hoax like Carlee Russell, and for what reason, right? She wanted attention. Maybe she was upset at her boyfriend. I don't know what the reason was for all this, but this wasn't someone who wanted to just disappear off the face of the earth. This wasn't a Gone Girl situation. This was someone that wanted to be found and wanted the Amber Alert, wanted the attention. So it's pretty shameful what she did. I'm glad she finally accepted responsibility, unlike someone like Jesse Smollett who pushed the case to trial. But still, it's pretty disappointing that this was a use of government resources. So I fully expect them to prosecute this case pretty aggressively. And it's really just a matter of mitigation for Carlee Russell and her lawyer at this point.
And you've seen a lot of cases, and I mean a lot of them in your time here. So taking a look at this mugshot, the fact that she's smiling, that's what stands out to a lot of people, and that's what we've seen posted all over social media. Is it something that is so common when you have somebody who is under national scrutiny at this point to be smiling in their booking photo?
It's not. And defense lawyers tell their clients, don't smile. Jurors don't like it. You're not taking this seriously. I mean, here's someone that, again, probably enjoyed the attention. I think she ultimately did come around and realized that this was a huge mistake.
Exactly.
But Carlee Russell, at that moment, she took that mugshot, clearly was not there yet.
Yes.
All right, my last question for you here. What's next in this case? What is the next step? And really, what happens next?
The next step is going to be a guilty plea, Josh, pursuant to a plea agreement or an open plea where the judge is going to decide the sentence, because it's not the type of case that you can push to, pre-trial or file motions. There's no legal defense, much less a factual defense. This is the type of case that you push the case to a jury trial, you're going to get convicted pretty quickly and slammed at sentencing.
All right, Nima Rahmani, former federal prosecutor, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Anything else you want to add about the case before I let you go?
What I would say is this is something we're seeing a lot more because of social media. Years ago, people were unable to get this type of attention, right? But now with social media, as soon as someone goes missing, you said it. I mean, these cases go viral. So think of all the things people do just to get likes and comments, But if you get something like this, and it's really a bigger problem with our society, the things that people do for attention.
All right, Nima Rahmani, thank you again for taking the time to be here. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Josh.
How about that? Live now from Fox was the source. Will she go to jail, get jail time? Plea agreed by the Attorney General herself. What will the punishment be? Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. The motive, never revealed. Will she ever reveal the truth about why she did it? Smiling in the mugshot does not seem to faze her any. As I said, she smiled because she knew she was getting out of there, first of all. She wasn't going to be staying in there, in the jail. And many are judging her for that as well. Why are you smiling? What are you smiling about? Because this is a serious offense, whether it's a misdemeanor or not. It used up resources. It had people worrying about her safety. A woman who's lost her child, Miss Angela Harris, getting involved to help search for her. And she's been in Hoover, Alabama, allegedly all the time. You really don't know what to believe. Because just because she said she was in Hoover, that doesn't mean anything. Because you got to remember, she's a liar. So therefore, I don't know if you were in Hoover or not. I don't know. You could have went to Nashville or Kentucky or anywhere. You can go a lot of places in 49 hours. Stay woke. All states neighbor other states. But I do believe she had help. Because as I said, she doesn't strike me as somebody who would wander around aimlessly for 49 hours. Did she do this for attention? As you hear him talking about social media, these type of hyped hoaxes are more prevalent with people wanting attention, doing and saying things to get likes and views, even on YouTube. Stay woke. But it wasn't worth it to puncture your identity, your livelihood, to be ridiculed, to be judged. Maybe, as I said before, maybe this was all to get money in the end. Book deals, movie deals. You'll need her permission to give a right passage story about her. Who better to tell you, allegedly, the version except for Carlee Russell? 500,000, 1 million, 2 million. Yeah, I'll sell my story. Tell you why I did it. And of course, most of that money will go to agents that want to sue her for damages, recoup monies for searching. So now let's ask that question. How much money is Hoover, CIA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, and other agencies going to ask for monies back? She gets a book deal, movie deal for a couple of million. It won't matter if these agencies sue her for under $1 million. That's free money. Go on, take it. I got a cool meal in my pocket or two. Play money. And everybody that wants a version of her, she's going to ask for payment. You think she's not? You better stay woke. Could this be just for money down the road? I'll take the scrutiny. I'm going to get a payout later because I'm going to command they pay me. Does she have help from her parents that they orchestrated with her? Some of you believe that. I don't know. The Smiln shows, as he says, this attorney, she didn't care at that time. So she didn't care at the time of planning. She didn't care once she exacted the plan and called 911. She didn't care when she ran off for 49 hours. She didn't care when she returned home. She didn't care when she got the attorney to hire to represent her. She didn't care when she entered the jail to smile for the camera. So therefore, where does the remorse come in? People will pay. TMZ pays for stories. The Sun pays for stories. I believe the Daily Mail pays for stories. Come on, you guys now. Don't act like you don't know. At the bottom of the page of the articles, it'll say, if you have anything interesting you want to share with us, we pay. How do you think all these pictures get out of people meeting people in the dark at restaurants and rendezvousing and leaving someone's house in the wee hour? Because somebody was stalking them and watching and took the information and sold it to the highest bidder. How do you think all those UK tabloids made money 30, 40 years ago? By selling crappy papers about he said and she said. People stalking Princess Diana and this person and that person. Even the information doesn't even have to be true as far as he said, she said, but it makes a good story. People will pay. Sadly, somebody will pay, even if it's a lie, number one. And as he also said with Jussie Smollett, he pushed it to trial because he's a narcissist. A1 narcissist. She's a narcissist too now. She just decided to fold because she saw her foot was in the trap when police said, I can't verify a baby on the road. No baby, Carlee. So try again. Okay, so this is where we say, okay. You got me. Let me go get me a lawyer. Damn, they caught me. Should have watched Gone Girl. Who she should have watched. That's the movie you should watch, Carlee Russell. Very good movie, Ben Affleck. Please check it out if you haven't. It's an older movie. Came out, 2014. Now, that's what you call diabolical and crazy. And look how that movie ended. He stayed with wifey, knowing she was a time bomb ready to tick. So you don't know people. So anything she says from here on out is neither here nor there because she's a liar. And as I told you, she's been lying. This time she just got full throttle, full attention. It's a difference from yesterday and 10 days ago and little lies over here and over there. Loves to take pictures, dance in front of cameras. I see some of you got them posted in your little videos on YouTube. I said, damn, y'all sure been digging all up in that girl box of candy. Just all kind of videos, her twerking and doing this and dancing. She's crazy as hell. Like so many others. And as you see, yes, that certain person who killed her baby, she's been out living her best life. Damn murderer, baby killer. See, that's the point of the story. I did it because I could. Let me say that again because somebody ain't listening to what I'm saying to them. Stop asking why. What I always tell you all. Don't ask why, ask why not. Why? Why she do it? Why she do it? Why not do it? See, if you can't think like a scam artist, a murderer, you can't understand. I keep telling you all this. You'll never understand if you don't have that mindset. You may do a little vengeful thinking, and you might even do a little revenge yourself. Somebody make you mad, you call their job, and you tell on them. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's been a little naughty from time to time. But we just didn't call the police and say, oh, I saw a kid on the side of the highway. I followed him, blah, 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 and disappear. And that's another thing I want you to think about. This is why I told somebody on my channel the other day, she's done a dry run. Pay attention. How did you know the police wasn't just going to run up on you while you're calling? Bingo card. Queen knows her stuff. Tell you, you all don't listen. You're riding down a highway in the car with a camera on you talking. And you didn't think that perhaps a state trooper could have pulled up? Hi, ma'am, you in distress? Then what the hell is she going to say? Oh, the baby ran into the woods. You all better wake up. That's one thing I have not heard in anybody's commentary. The what if. What if police had pulled up while she's talking on the phone? That never dawned on any of you out there in La La Land? Yes, 911. Yes, toddler. Yeah, I think he's 3 or 4. Yeah, he in a diaper. Yeah, he in a t-shirt. Yeah, what you in? I'm in a red Mercedes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Pull over, man. Let me talk to you for a second. How about that? That never dawned on any of you. Police could have been there quicker than 5 minutes away. Who's to say they ain't have an undercover already on the highway, just driving on his daily run? Hey, pull over. Follow that red Mercedes. She said she sees a kid on the side of the road. Carlee, what would you have done if the police was already on the highway? I'll wait. You didn't ever think that they could have already been on the road and been right on your tail, and then you would have had to get out of the car or sit in the car and explain your imaginary friend. Well, ma'am, I don't see a toddler. Well, where is he? Oh, he was just there a few minutes ago. Right. Plan B. Carlee has driven that road how many times? She knows what's on the other side of that road through the brush. I've looked at the little wooded area just in the quick footage they showed. In my mind, I'm trying to tell myself, how in the hell would she know where to pull over? Is it possible that she could see through the trees even if it's almost dark where her ride was? Bingo card. Y'all ain't paying attention. So don't tell me she didn't have no help. Because I got to know that when I go through the brush, I can get out. That ain't never done on none of you. She had no help. She had no help. The hell she probably did. I'm going to say it again because somebody ain't listening. She had to know how to get out through the brush. How do you know you can get out? To safety. To a street. To a road. What if you went too far down and your ride is 6-7 ball fields away? Bingo card. You have to know how to get out of the woods. You had to know how long it would take to walk if you want to say she did it all on her own. Stay woke. She had to know where she was walking through and out, that there would be no surveillance cameras, no CCTV footage. So I'm going to ask somebody who lives down there on the other side of that highway that she exited. What's over there? And then I'm going to say this, because ain't nobody mentioned this either. This is how I know there ain't nobody paying attention to the story. Who's to say that somebody didn't pull up somewhere on the highway? Could it be possible she went through the brush and doubled back around? I don't know. See, we don't know. We just got this aerial view of her pulling over, flashing lights. Don't see a car in front or behind her because everything else is open highway. So that just leaves the brush. She went through the brush. That's why I know she had to have done a dry run, because you have got to know exactly where to come out and have somebody waiting. You want me to believe she was walking around carrying a bathrobe and plastic bags with food in it to aimlessly walk around? Come on now. Hot as it is in Alabama. Even at night, it is hot. How long was the plan orchestrated? Longer than 2 days? 1 month, 1 week? I want to know who is the helper. Smiling in the mugshot. Please take the poll on my community page. Is this a sign that she has no remorse, as you heard this attorney say at that time? Well, attorney, we're 2-3 weeks into this story. At what point is she going to have remorse? Probably never. She's smiling because she knows she's bonding out. She's smiling because possibly this was a game to her, is a game to her. She's smiling because she knows there's going to be a payout later somewhere down the road. As I just said, someone is going to foolishly pay her for her story. Number one. Number two, somebody's going to pay the parents for their story, their version. Well, now, come on, you people. Only God knows how long she has been planning this farce. Nobody likes me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody's thinking about me, as she said in a post before she got on the highway. Somebody to say they love you without you even having to ask. That's what's going on. She's lonely. Carlee is lonely. Undervalued, underrated in the eyes of somebody. Now, would that be the boyfriend? Excuse me, I'm sorry. We got problems in paradise. Join the club, Carlee. I'm 52, and it ain't fun at 52, sugar. So you 26. I got 26 years on you. If you think shit's bad now, wait till you get 52, and you still ain't got nobody. Checkmate. They lie at 50, sugar puss. They lie at 40. They cheat and have sex with all kind of women and scrippers and strippers. Oh, you about to get an eye-opening experience. You think you're depressed now? Wait till you're 52 and you realize you're still dealing with fools. My. It is what it is. She did it because she could. Why most crimes are committed. I did it because I could. I did it because I was pissed off. I did it because I wanted revenge. I did it because I felt like it. And you hear it lots of times from criminals. They don't even know why they did the crime. I don't know. I just did it. Kind of like impulsive children, adolescents, teenagers. Why'd you do it, Johnny? Why'd you break the window? I don't know. Why'd you steal the car? I don't know. Why'd you pretend to see a toddler on the highway? I don't know. Why'd you say you were kidnapped? I don't know. But why'd you get dressed up for your mugshot? Oh, now that I can answer. I wanted to look good for the camera. She knows that. Different versions of who she called. I don't really know who she called. Cousin, boyfriend, sister. I'm confused. Then it was brother's girlfriend, wife. Which is it? How many people did she call? But you'll never get to the truth. This is why I keep telling you, you need not ask any questions because she's a liar. So we're going to sit here and bang our heads against the wall. Oh, I want to know why she did it. I want to know why she did it. I want to know where she was for 49 hours. At home? What if you found out she was at home the whole time? Now. So, Carlee, I'm going to ask you, woman to woman, of course. Or should I say middle-aged woman to child? Carlee, were you at home the whole 49 hours? Did somebody hide you out and put you in the car, took you somewhere, dropped you off, and then you walked back to your house? Bingo card. They ain't ready for you, Queen. You all better stay woke. Because I need a receipt to what's on the other side of that highway. And if her parents said her phone pinged from that street because it's so close, you want me to believe there's nothing on the street with a camera. So what was it, industrial park? Industrial road with abandoned buildings? Buildings that didn't have businesses open or inside of them? Bring me a receipt. What if you find out she was home the entire time? Imagine that. Then that means the parents were in cahoots. And I don't want to accuse these people because I don't know them, but I don't know that thing they brought here either. That apple. That tainted apple. And then we have to ask ourselves what type of parents she has. Are they truthful people, Christian people, law-abiding citizens? Or are they cutthroat like their daughter? Who is Carlee Russell, and what has her parents taught her through the years? Did she decide to mimic any type of nefarious behavior from her parents? Because it happens. And as I had said in one of my posts the other day, it is foul for a parent to aid their children in wrongdoing, whether they are children or adult children. You never ask your child to break the law. Help you break the law. It is wrong. So I can't say what these parents did or did not do, but they were aiding her, assuming that what she had said to law enforcement was the truth. But now we know it was a lie. So now we have to ask ourselves, at what point, if they had no involvement in this farce, that she told them the truth that she had never been kidnapped? Was it only when police came out and said, well, we don't have any verification of a toddler or kidnapped suspect, that's when she said, well, I better tell my parents the truth. This lie can't continue. So are they ever going to come forward and speak on this newfound information from Carlee Russell? Will she come forward and speak? Or are we going to wait for a Lifetime movie? I'll wait. Element. Oxygen. Hell, Gail King. I don't think Gail's going to be too fascinated. Going to jump up like R. Kelly. Damn it, y'all killing me. Is that what you're going to say, Carlee? What's going to happen when you go to court? You're going to wear another turtleneck dress in front of the court? Oh, because I know you're going to be real sharp when you go stand in front of the judge. You're going to wear some cute little pumps. You won't have your toes out. You're going to keep your feet covered. You're going to wear a cute little dress. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're going to nod your head like a little sad puppy. Hell, you might even cry. I didn't mean to do it. I promise. I'm sorry. I was just depressed and I was down and I don't know what got into me. You got a couple of months to decide how you're going to put on for the judge. Man judge, woman judge, white judge, black judge, I don't know. But you're going to put on. Nod your head politely. And the fact that you hear in this commentary also, there was no need of her talking to the police further because she already got an attorney at some point. So naturally, the attorney does all the talking for her. That's usually what is advised. Let me speak to law enforcement. You just be quiet. And if he says, go ahead and speak, he'll let you know when he doesn't want you to answer a certain question. But now that they know, okay, she's a little liar, they've hired me because she's a liar, I don't want her saying anything. Hell no. Carlee, let the queen talk to you for just a second. I'm going to say this to you, and I want you to listen to me carefully, love. If you did this because of a man, you were trying to get his attention, that old boyfriend of yours, he's now your ex, let him tell it on social media. How are you going to handle him not wanting you now, ever? Ting! You're not very bright. You are obviously not the brightest crayon in the box. Being college educated and all. But what have we heard about smart people? They're dumb in the common sense department. Rocket science, no mathematical quotations, but don't know what color to cross the street on the light post. Jaywalkers all damn day. He's denounced you, the boyfriend. So I would assume that you'll be kind of hot butter right now. What? After all of this? And somebody put up a post about you, don't know if it's true or accurate. I saw it on somebody else's channel about this being conspired. Somebody knew that you was doing this. You were behind it. And that you had unfriended the boyfriend weeks before, but then when you came out from the kidnappers that don't exist, you sent him a friend request. I'm confused. Now, you know that doesn't look good at all. Maybe that's how that boyfriend rumor started, that this is why you did it. Because you weren't even talking to him. Or let's say he wasn't talking to you. I don't know. Because who's really going to tell you the truth? Because one, we don't know these people from a can of paint. And at this point, I'm not about to believe nothing anybody has to say. That's how I rock. Because let me tell you something about lying. Where you find one liar, you'll probably find two. So what happened weeks ago, Carlee? Did you break up with your boyfriend, or did he break up with you, or you just got mad at him for some reason and you blocked him? Because, you know, we women do that when we get mad and in our feelings, we block people. Because I'm good at blocking people. I think most people know that. I'm the queen of blocking. So what happened? You had a row. He said something you didn't like. He did something you didn't like. There's allegations of him liking a stripper. Don't know if those are your real posts or not. Because, you know, you can't believe anything on social media as truthful and accurate. So what happened? Did you fall out and you got mad? And then you said, oh, I'm going to block you. And then you said, oh, I'm going to fake my disappearance. I'm going to pop back up. And then I'm going to send him. I'm going to refriend him. Is that how it went? And now you're sitting here smiling in your mugshot, saying to the world, yep, I did that. So what? You told us to eat crow. That's what you said to America. That's what you said to Hoover, Alabama, and its residents. That's what you said to the Hoover Police Department and all agencies that aided in searching for your dusty tail. Eat crow. And now we wait to see what the judge is going to give you. You're facing at least 2 years. Each count is a year. You only charged with 2 counts, Class A misdemeanors. And as the chief says, he would have charged the max, or let's say the attorney general would have charged the max. But they can only go within the law. And he's working on trying to get that changed, this lying business. What are you going to do in the future? You're going to go to seminars and talk to young people about why they shouldn't lie, make up stuff. Because at some point, mommy and daddy aren't going to live forever and they ain't going to be able to take care of you. So, Carlee, what are you going to do for a living? And who's going to hire you? Who is going to hire a person that pretended to be kidnapped? Because you can't be trusted with a typewriter, computer, telephone, cash register, bathrobes. Stop it, Queen. That's not nice. You can't be trusted. And it's not to say that people who have done nefarious things don't have jobs now. Of course they do. They just weren't as elaborate. Their scheme, scams, and lying and stealing. You done took scheme, scam, and stealing to a whole new level. Because you're now, as they say in the Google search, there's a difference. See, most people commit crimes. They're not on the news. They're not in the paper. Nobody's worried. Nobody's concerned. They talk about it all the 5 days and poof, they move on to something else. Newtown gossip. Oh, but not you. As someone said, type in your name and the first thing you're going to get is fake kidnap hoax, no toddler found, mugshot. And that's going to stay in the universe of social media until we all leave here. Very sad situation. And then we have a young kid, 11 years old, decides to play this possum game in your honor. How else can I look at it? Except she added a little more flavor to the story. Her friend was kidnapped. Her 14-year-old friend was allegedly kidnapped, chasing the van down the street. So much for being original, I guess. And they handcuffed her, 11-year-old. See, Florida is very strict. They have strict laws. Florida has no problems with arresting children. We've seen this with many true crime stories of children being rebellious or accused of being rebellious in the schoolhouse, and boop, 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 school calls the police, and boom, handcuffs the child. Talked about this recently, about a young kid handcuffed. And I believe he was younger than 11. What will the punishment be? 1 year in jail, 2 years? Should she get 2 years in jail? I say yes. I say 10 years of probation, because this heifer's now got to walk the tightrope, and she's not mentally stable. Obviously, there's something wrong with her. She's lucid, of course. She knew what she did was wrong because she was planning it all out, but there's still something wrong with Carlee Russell. That's the point. And I don't trust her to walk around unsupervised. Because giving her probation for a year or two, that ain't shit. Like I just said, she don't need to be near nothing. A computer, a typewriter, a register, nothing. She's going to have a very lonely life the next couple of years. Always scrutinized, looking over her shoulder, worrying about if somebody's going to jump out, bust her in her head, just on sight because they could. Kind of like what she did with this kidnap host. Would some of you feel better if she told you why she did it? I'm curious. Yes, no, maybe. Carlee, just tell me, why did... Have her parents scolded her? I'd like to know. Have they been raising hell in that nice house, throwing things and throwing tantrums? Has mommy been falling out of the floor, kicking and screaming like an ant upside down on its back? Why? Why'd you do this? You've disgraced us. We've raised you better than this. Did you? Did you raise her better than that? I don't know, because I don't know you. And the next guy that gets with you, let's make this clear. Because I had to check a little young boy late this morning. He's a grown man, but he act like a boy. They like the badass girl, blah, blah, blah. As I told this one little cat this morning, you obviously like her, but you're judging her because she's known as a badass. So what do you want with her? So this is kind of similar. There's going to be guys falling at her feet. I know many of you are like, what? What are you talking about, Big Ange? Oh, come on, you guys. You're not dumb. She's going to have all kind of guys talking to her and going in a DM. Hey, how you doing? Ooh, you look so purty in your mugshot. She looks like a young girl. She don't even look 26 years old. Her look like a teenager. She might get a 16-year-old trying to flirt with her. Shut your mouth. She'll probably get some older men in her DM. I'll take care of you, baby. What you need? You ain't got to live with your parents no more. You ain't got to date that no good boyfriend. I'll be good to you. Carlee, you might as well take up the offer. Get your old man. Somebody you can push around in a wheelchair. And knowing your crazy ass, you'll push him right in the damn pond and keep on moving. Collect all his funds and live happily ever after. Because as I've said before, the boyfriend might want to stay off of social media for a while. Stop talking about her. Don't mention her, because if she did this because of you, what else is she capable of? See, this is why I know you're not smart. Because now you've called yourself or her your ex. So do you think she's happy with that? Oh, I'm his ex now? Oh, I see. I did all this for you. Now you're going to just dump me? So what do you think she'd do now? She still has feelings for him. She orchestrated this crime because of him. Let's just say hypothetical, because we don't really know why she did it. Let's just say she did all this for this nice-looking black man. And then he's on social media. I'm disgusted. My family's disgusted. And thank you, Miss Such and Such, for this and this and this. And then now Carlee's sitting here hot as butter. She is hot as butter. What you think she'll do now? You think she hasn't been trying to call him if he's blocked her, not answering her calls? Or is he still playing footsies under the table? Still meeting her somewhere in the dark of the night? Who's to say they still ain't having sexual relations? Y'all better wake up. Having mad sex, cussing each other out and fussing at each other at the same damn time. Now, you know, I still love you, but I just can't be with you because you're just a little liar, Carlee. Don't do this to me. You know I care about you. I only did this because of you. You know I love you. I'm just beside myself. I was trying to figure a way to get your attention. Forgive me. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Yeah, you will. Except for the next time, it won't be a toddler on the highway. It won't be they kidnapped me. Her mugshot will be for something else. I think y'all know where I'm going with this. That baby boy might be laying face down. Y'all better wake up. So, bro, my advice to you, leave a she alone. Don't talk to her. Don't call her. Don't message her. Don't message her family, her friends. Don't even fool with anybody that carries her last name. Don't go in her direction. Don't drive by her house. Leave her alone. See, the reason why most of us keep having trauma is because we keep digging back in the garbage can. Stay woke. We're all guilty of it at some point in life. Throw the trash away, but then you go back in as if you threw away something valuable in the dumpster. But you know damn well there's nothing but trash in there. So what the hell are you looking for? Gotta stop that. When you throw it away, let it stay there. She's going to meet and greet somebody else. There'll be some men that will be attracted to her. They'll be attracted to her just because of the story. Let me see what she's got going on. Let me see what's down there in those pants. Of course, they're men. It's a challenge. She's a rebel. She's crazy. I'm attracted to that. You know, you have men who are attracted to nonsense, chaos, dramatic women, chaotic women, women that stay in trouble, boozers, drug addicts, criminals. They like that. It's a turn on. I can fix her, or I'm just attracted to why she's living on the edge. But they're not thinking logically that they could end up a potential victim. You have to be very careful the people you meet in life, the people you talk to, fraternize with, standing around, hanging with people. This is how most people get caught up in mischief, just fraternizing. And I don't know what happened with she and he. I don't know if he's the actual reason for this hoax. But I know now, with his statements publicly about her, probably best he stays away from her and leaves her alone. And she does the same. She should do the same. Because somebody might get hurt this next time. And I don't trust her around any living creature with 2 feet until she redeems herself and she stands account for what she's done and she owns what she has done and she has repented for what she has done. She may or she may not. That is entirely up to Carlee Russell. But the smiling in the mugshot is a bit much. It shows she doesn't care. And that's why I said, yes, it's easy to judge. Does she have remorse? And I asked that the other day before she turned herself in. But now that we see the mugshot, I'm still leaning on, nah, she don't give a damn. She does not give a damn. And what will be sad is if we find out that somebody that knows her knew of the plan and went along with the plan all the way to the very end. They have not revealed themselves. And I hope her parents are not involved only because they brought her here. And that would be just even more vile that your parents orchestrated this crime with you. That means they have no business being parents. And I'm not here to say that they have any involvement. But they can't now take back the support role and talking crazy in texts and you go out here and do what you gonna do, whatever that stupid mother was saying about, I ain't getting ready to sit here and go back and forth with you all on social media and argue about my child. And well, you can't get mad at people because the story didn't sound cohesive. Your daughter's the one who spun the story. You act like somebody just knocked on your door and started picking at your kid. We didn't know her. So any scrutiny she's received is from her own doing because she had no business lying to police with a 911 call and then making up other allegations against an invisible man and woman. That's on Carlee. That's nothing to do with the general public. That's nothing to do with a news network, an article, social media. That has nothing to do with any other entity breathing, group of people. That's on Carlee. She did this. And the thing that amazes me about your commentary when you first came out with your version of, well, I can't believe how mean people have been talking about her and calling me with allegations of where she is and blah, 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 when we later found out she lied. So what I never could understand is how can you sit up here and say you're stunned at these people's behavior in making up lies about your daughter, blah, 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 when your daughter spun a whole ass lie? How is she different than the people who were in your inbox or confronting you with lies about your daughter? Please help me understand. Oh, I just can't believe it. They're so mean. They're so vile. Your daughter is so mean. She's so vile. How the fuck do you sound? How is one better than the other? See, that's a crazy person's thinking. We'll try to compare the crimes. Well, my theft ain't same as your theft. My scamming ain't same as your scamming. My buffoonery ain't as bad as your buffoonery. That's basically what you're saying. Your daughter sits at a higher caliber of mischief than Pookie, Ray Ray, Karen, and John. That's what you told the world. I don't care what my baby did. A lot of people like that about their kids. Their kids could blow up the fucking Empire State Building. They're right there supporting them. He had a reason. He had a reason. That's my baby. And that's why it's proven that these kids, whether they are children or adult, they pick up these tendencies from the people that reared them, you see. That's where the narcissist comes from, usually from a parent. We've seen that with sexual assaulters, pedophiles, rapists, serial killers. They had a dominant parent. And they had a parent that aided the dominant parent. Stay woke now. So now we have to ask ourselves, which parent is dominant? Is this an issue of a dominant parent? One parent rolled the other one, overrode the other one. The other parent lied in wait and laid down like a puppy, didn't ever say anything. Oh, okay. And she picked up those harsh, narcissistic, sociopathic ways. Or are we talking about two great parents that just has a fucked up adult daughter? I don't know. But I know a lot of behavior comes from childhood. And I brought you that information the other day. The children start lying at the age of 3. They progressively get better at lying. But somebody has to eventually step in to tell a child, you can't continue to spin those webs, those stories, because they're not true. And I got a feeling she's been lying for a long time and nobody ever told her to stop. She has been aided in her foolishness by her parents, perhaps. And that's the detriment to the child, who is now a grown woman, a lying grown woman. And one day she will meet and greet, mate, possibly marry, have children. And hopefully the mate, the children, won't fall victim to a woman who has not changed, because it happens all the time. And we see this with true crime, such as the suspect with the Long Island murders, serial killings. People are living with people every day who are living double lives. They're thieves, they're liars, they're scam artists. People have an idea that they ain't right, or they know the whole truth, they ain't right, and they ride the ride anyway for some sick reason. Maybe they feel like they can't do better. They lean on them for support, financial support. Sex is great. Whatever it is they're offering, they won't bow out. And hopefully, as I said, she won't meet a man, dupe him. He's stupid, lonely, gets tangled up with her, and he's caught up in some mess years down the road. And God forbid she's to ever bear children, have mercy. Because the thought of her ruining somebody's child, she was babysitting neighbors' kids, very scary. Very, very scary. I'm not going to hold you all. It's a great day in East Tennessee. I'm going to get out, enjoy this evening. When I get more information pertaining to this story, I will, as most of you know, Miss Vallow is going to be sentenced. I will bring you that said update pertaining to Lori Vallow Daybell. The late wife of Mr. Daybell, the first wife, her aunt will be able to give a victim impact statement. Amen. And I also want to bring you a story of a missing woman out of North Carolina, African-American female, still missing 2 weeks now. And I do need to update you on the Long Island killings. It's a lot to bring forward because there's always some new developments pertaining to this story. But the wife, the latest, is that she's depressed at how the house looked. So as they have said, don't know if it's the state that law officials left the house or what they took out of the house, or possibly both. But I do believe she knew that something wasn't right with her husband, because there's no way you've been married to someone almost 30 years and you didn't get an inkling of some nefarious behavior, sexual sadist behavior, because usually sadists can't hide that type of behavior. They either like to use bondage during sex, choke you, strangle you while having sex. They want to do all type of different sexual acts, role play. I believe she saw signs that something was off. Maybe not necessarily knew that he was murdering women, but that something was wrong. Thank you all so much for the compliments. I appreciate it. See, there's always signs that people aren't right. It's just a matter of we ride the ride with them. Because people don't have to tell you, a random stranger, yeah, I know my husband's quirky. Yeah, I know my wife is quirky. Yeah, I know my husband is kinky, or he's weird and he acts weird and they don't have to tell you that. They ride the ride. Until eventually they have to get off at their stop. And that's where his wife is right now. She's got to get off the ride because the ride is over. The train has stopped. And something he said I found very interesting the other day. He asked, I guess, somebody in the jail or attorney or whomever, is this on TV? And I said to myself, where the hell is this man from? What the hell do you mean? Are you on TV? Yes, big boy, you're on TV. You know it's on TV. You know they're talking about you. And I've heard he doesn't watch the TV, and he has access to a television, I believe in his cell. Why not? Mr. Herman, why are you not watching the news? Are you afraid to look at yourself? Your big towering monster, a big lump of clay that was devouring women, sex workers, young girls, because you could. You don't want to look at yourself because you don't want a playback of the years you've been walking the earth and being a menace. Because, there's nothing like looking at yourself on camera in live TV time, if you see where I'm going. Oh my gosh, I got a pimple right there. Oh my goodness, I look horrible from behind. You see where I'm going. Because you ain't no morning star. And your wife looks horrible. Now, I'm not trying to be mean. That lady looks bad. But one would say, how's she supposed to look? I don't know if she ever wears makeup or not, but sister looks bad. And who's to say this doesn't push her over the edge? Because every little thing about her life now is going to be scrutinized, and she's going to go back in time and go back to every time he did something strange, said something strange, weird ass comment that's now going to play back in her head. And let me tell you, your memories and memories that you never thought of can wear you down. Because now that's what she's probably doing. Going back in time, going over every little thing he said and did and said, oh my God, how did I miss that? Every time she was out of town, went out of town, the thought she's having fun, vacationing, he's up here slaughtering women, luring women possibly to the house. And that's another thing they're talking about. Did he invite women to the house while the wife and child was gone? Children were gone. Could be. One man kidnapped a young woman and kept her in the van outside of his house with his wife. Now imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine a young woman being kidnapped. She has no idea where she is. She knows that she's inside of a van. And little does she know that the van is parked outside of the perpetrator's house and he is married to someone else. And she's sitting outside on a public street in a neighborhood with houses in a damn van. That's how brazen these creeps are. Kidnap a woman, keep her in a van tied up right outside his damn house. I'd have rocked that van till I had nothing left in me, till somebody said, hey, there's somebody in there. And there possibly were other women. I won't doubt that he had affairs. Then now you have to differentiate the 2 and the 3. How did he separate violence from his wife, women he may have had sex with but didn't kill them, then those that he hooked up with and murdered? Because as we learned with Theodore Bundy, eventually that dark side came out in that relationship he had with that lady, the girlfriend, choking her while having sex. And it's also come to light that they went on a canoe, a rafting trip or something, and I believe he pushed her in the water. That's scary. That's very scary. So then you have to ask yourself, if that allegation is true, did she break up with him immediately? Or she kept dating him. I think she still kept dating him. There's no way I'm going to date anybody that pushes me in the water or puts my face underwater. Now, one could say, well, you stay with men who still were mistreating you, talk down to you, talk bad to you. What's the difference? Waterboarding, throw you in the lake, talk down to you, put their hands on you. It's all abuse. And indeed, it is. But those are the games our minds play. But that wasn't as bad as that. Abuse is abuse. Verbal, physical, sexual, suffocation, strangling, it's all the same. It's heinous and it's inhumane. And nobody has the right to put their hands on you. Period. I want to thank you for your time. See, I mentioned these little clips of other crimes in my life to show you how wicked the world is and how this African-American female obviously has no idea how wicked the world is because she's been living in a bubble down there in Alabama. But I got a funky feeling she's going to get a taste of how real the world is now that she has exacted this hoax and will be facing a judge sometime soon. Will she get 2 years in jail? Extended probation? Have to pay monies back to law enforcement agencies? Community service, which she needs that as well. What will the punishment be? We'll go live tomorrow pertaining to Lori Vallow Daybell, bring you that update and bring you some other updates as well. I want to thank you for your time. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129, Cash App, stickers and chats, and welcome to the live stream. You all have a wonderful week. Please take the polls on my community board and please check out my movie suggestions for the week and weekend. Most of you have heard of the new Barbie movie. It is out. There's also a new horror movie that just came out. I believe it was Friday. I look forward to seeing it. I'll check it out. And I'll let you know if it's any good or not. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful week. Thank you for coming in the chat and giving your commentary. We'll chop up the next phase of Carlee Russell. What is her life going to be like now? Will she stand account? Will she publicly apologize? Will she give a public interview and actually be truthful during an interview? You're welcome, sweetheart. Have a blessed week, everybody. You've been listening to The Vault. Exhale.